Hey guys, it's been a while since I've made a video. Oh my gosh. Trying to figure out which way I should look at the camera is a little difficult. But today I'm going to be making an angel food cake. It's one of my favorite recipes. I'm going to be doing things a little differently. I'll put a link to this description down below. See, down there. It's down there and all that stuff. From where I got the recipe. And so let's get started. Okay, so to make this cake, we're going to need about a cup and a half of egg whites brought to room temperature, right down there, or 12 dozen egg whites. I'm using liquid egg whites that I bought from the store today because they were on sale. If you make a lot of ice creams or custard-based desserts, you can save the egg whites and freeze them, and those will actually work really well. I'm going to need granulated sugar and confectioner's sugar today, salt, cake flour. This is one of those times where you don't really want to switch. Vanilla, a little pinch of allspice for fun, and yes, that great big wine bottle is not for me. Well, it was for me, but we're going to repurpose it and use it at the end of the cake today. Then we're going to need a special tube pan or a bundt pan. I'm using a springform pan. I have another bundt pan that I use, but these ridges in here make the cake a little bit difficult to get out, and my regular bundt pan has a ton of ridges in it. So the first thing that you want to do is remember that when you're trying to beat egg whites, you want everything to be really clean. So there's an example of, I think that's flour. I think the last thing I made with this was my, what did we? Oh, we made pepperoni rolls with this. That's right. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your mixer is really, really, really clean. This is left on flour from the pepperoni roll, so I'm going to grab a rag and wipe that off. The other thing that you need to remember to do is to sift your ingredients. This cake has no leavening agents in it other than air. And we're going to use the air to cause the cake to rise, so we want it to be nice and fluffy. I want to preset my oven to 350 degrees. While that's warming up, I'm going to move my oven rack down to the third lowest rack. It's already there where I want it. Please excuse the mess in my oven. I'm really bad about cleaning it out. I'm going to start with my dozen egg whites. And then I'm just going to raise that up right there, switching hands. And I'm going to beat that until they're about a little frothy and medium peaks. Now the first thing you'll notice if you've read the recipe down below is that this actually calls for cream of tartar. I don't have any. Cream of tartar helps stabilize the egg whites, but it's not actually necessary. If you're nervous that your egg whites won't stabilize, you can add a little bit of lemon juice into that. So we're just going to let that go for a while. Alright, my egg whites are at a nice soft peak, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn this back up and I'm slowly going to add in the sugar. So, ready? Here we go. Alright, so everything's been incorporated, and what I'm looking for when I get this nice and done is that they hold a nice soft peak. In case you didn't catch that, I added 1 cup of granulated sugar into the egg whites. So the next step in this process is I'm going to slowly fold in 1.5 cups of sifted confectioner's sugar, 1 cup of cake flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and just a pinch of allspice. Remember, when we're folding in egg whites into things, we just kind of want to pick the spoon up and fold over like that. And we're just going to do this until the ingredients have all been incorporated, not too much because I don't want to deflate these egg whites. Remember, I don't have my cream of tartar in there, so yikes. It's not as stable as it typically would be. Also, I'm going to pour in a little bit of vanilla because I forgot to do that in the mixer. I'm using real vanilla extract as opposed to imitation vanilla extract, so I'm just going to add just a splash just for taste. Alright. Alright, so my cake's all mixed up. Boom! I'm gonna put it in this pan, and what you're probably gonna say is you didn't grease and flour your pan. You don't really need to do that with sponge cakes. I'm not exactly sure why. I just know with the sponge cake that you don't need to grease and flour the pan because it doesn't really stick to the sides of the pan if you've cooked it all the way through. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, so the cake's in there. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run a knife through to get any air pockets out. I know we want to use air to leaven it, but I don't want there to be a ton of like air holes or air bubbles that I'm not aware of. I kind of want it to rise evenly. Then I'm going to put it in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes. I'm sorry, 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes, and what I'm looking for when I check to see if the cake is done, here we go. You can touch it and see if it springs back. Alright, so earlier when I talked about the wine bottle being used for repurposing, this is what I was talking about. You need to let this cool upside down on something, and it doesn't have to be a wine bottle if you don't drink. It can be anything that doesn't react to heat very well, but I'm just going to turn this upside down, put it through the bunt tube on a bit of an angle, like so, and let that cool down for about 45 minutes. Okay, it's been 45 minutes since I started cooling my cake. I did mine in a proof pan because I usually get my cake over the line, so my cake normally overflows like it does right here, and it's pretty hard to get it out. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to run a butter knife around the center, and it's okay if these pieces come out a little stuck together. I'll still enjoy them. Yeah, this cake totally overflowed and is now sticking to the edge of the pan. So I'm kind of sawing through, just kind of gently, because I don't want to break the cake, but I definitely want to get it underdone, or I want to get it out. I'm going to pull this aside real quick. I actually made this. I'm going to send it with Dan to his mom's tomorrow. He's going to do some work on his grandparents' computer. So I'll send it that way to them. I'm just going to invert the cake on this. Release the spring. If I didn't say I was using a spring form pan earlier, I'm using a spring form pan. And this little piece that's stuck right there will be a good taster to see if it tastes good. Which it tastes awesome. Tastes like a cooked marshmallow. It's still... So my cake is still sticking together. I know exactly where it's sticking together at. I forgot to cut around the inner side. Like so. Flip it back up. Ooh. Just gonna loosely pull this apart, very gently. Those divots that I said it would not want to come loose from, it didn't want to. But now my angel food cake is free. At this point I could glaze it, or I just kind of like it plain with a little bit of ice cream. But for now, these parts are gonna be awesome to eat. Alright, that was my delicious angel food cake. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think I'm only going to cut down to one video a week because it's too hard with the video editing software on the main computer that we're both sharing, and his class schedule and my work schedule to get 2 videos up a week. So I'm going to cut down to 1, and then maybe do some other cool surprise things during the week. But through the month of April, because I work at a college, the college where I did go to culinary school, we're going to be doing black box videos. So the first 4 people, there we go, number 4 fingers, that send me a list of 3 ingredients, a starch, a vegetable, and a protein. We'll call that a black box, like we used to have to do in our finals in culinary school. Also, this was kind of inspired because the chef I work under is getting ready to take his certified master chef exam. So anyways, until next week, I'll see you guys later. Bye.